Hello everyone, welcome back to another, vlog. Welcome back to Over Easy, which is my podcast. Hope you are doing amazing. Happy Monday. Oh, it actually is Monday on the day that I record, but I was kind of saying happy Monday because I upload on Mondays. Hope you have a fantastic week and I hope you had a great weekend. My name is Manny, in case you are new here, or welcome back. I love saying that. It's like it just rolls off my tongue. You know what I mean? But today I am obviously back with another podcast episode. I actually am filming this quite soon after my last podcast episode because I am heading out of town very soon, and I want to pre-film all of my podcast episodes before I leave so that I have just content going up so that I don't have to worry about it. I want to just give an update from my last episode because obviously my last episode was quite tumultuous, to say the least. If you didn't listen to it, I just basically felt lots of existential dread. I have no idea what I'm doing with my life and just feeling very conflicted and just having a hard time as a young 20s. I mean, I'm sure everyone has gone through this feeling at some point or another, so I'm sure you relate somehow, but that's just kind of been my life so far. But I'm feeling a lot better now, and I have decided officially to take a little hiatus from YouTube. I'm going to focus on my podcast as well as my TikTok a lot this month, just because those are two things that I do genuinely enjoy. For some reason, TikTok is just a platform that I use that I don't have pressure on myself for, so I really, really like that. I'm very tempted to delete social media, but I'm just trying to think about like how I would do that if I'm still posting TikToks and stuff, because I do love making these little short videos. So don't really know yet. I definitely am contemplating deleting Instagram, or at least like logging out of my main account. I have a smaller like Finsta, if that's what people call it, which basically only has like my close friends. So I think I might just stay in that and log out of my main account, because I spend so much time watching Instagram stories that are just like, first of all, they just give me FOMO. They like make me feel bad about myself, and also just like wastes my time. That's like the biggest one, is just that I'm wasting my time. So I think I'm going to do that probably starting this week. I just keep saying that I'm going to do it, but I don't. So I just need to bite the bullet and do that. But yeah, that's kind of an update from my last episode. I am feeling a lot better, and I feel like I feel a lot less pressure on myself because, I don't know, I think that was just like a very low week for me, and it just was not the best. But obviously here's a new week. Today is Monday, so I'm feeling a lot better, and I also had my weekly Monday yoga class, so very happy about that. Let's start off with a rose, bud, and thorn, as we do every episode. So my rose for this week, I have two roses now that I think about it. The first one is this past weekend. If you listen to my last episode, I was talking about how I planned a beach day with my friends, and that happened, which was so nice. It actually was the perfect weather because it wasn't like blazing hot. Like there were still some clouds, but the sun was still really, really warm, and it was still really, really hot that day and sunny, but it just wasn't like clear blue skies. And so we ended up going to the beach. It was like a quadruple date type of thing with my close friends, and we played spike ball, and that was so much fun. If you don't know what it is, spike ball is basically like volleyball, but there's a net on the floor that you have to hit the ball towards, and it was very challenging at first, not gonna lie. I've seen so many people play it throughout COVID and stuff, and I finally got to play it for the first time this past weekend, and it was honestly very enjoyable. I also think it was just like the fact that I was trying something new for the very first time, and I felt like no pressure to do well. Like obviously I wanted to play and like be able to pass the ball, but it was like such a safe space, and I felt so good. Like, oh, if I miss the net or like I missed the ball completely, like it was totally fine. So that was super fun. I really liked that, and I also just loved going to the beach. Definitely want to do that more as the weather lightens up, but after that weekend, yesterday and today, it has been cloudy and rainy, so it's not been a great time. Seriously, like what the heck is with the weather this year? It's terrible. My other rose is, this is really random, but I won a free yoga class. I think my gym, so basically my gym does like monthly prize competitions. Like if you sign up for a class and you attend a fitness class, then that's kind of like your ticket entry into a draw. So obviously the more fitness classes that you do in a month, you'll get more tickets. So I didn't even know this was happening, but I think for International Yoga Day last month, they were doing a draw for if you did the yoga classes at the gym. So I have been doing yoga and I won a free Y yoga class. So Y yoga is like a special yoga studio and they have a bunch of studios all over Vancouver, so I won a free class and I was just looking at it and they have hot yoga and I think I'm gonna do a hot yoga class. My boyfriend and I have been talking about it, like coincidentally, so now that I have a free pass, obviously my boyfriend and I can split the cost of the other person and then we can go for hot yoga, which I think will be so much fun and I'm really excited for. So that's also just cool. I feel like I never win giveaways and stuff, so that was just honestly kind of fun. Like I didn't even know I entered because obviously going to fitness classes is just my regular routine, but I got an email that was like, oh, you got a free Y yoga class, and I was like, oh my god, that is lit. So very happy with that. My bud, I have 2 buds as well. My bud is that this weekend is my boyfriend and my 2-year anniversary. We honestly don't have a ton of plans. We are going to get high tea, which is very exciting, but honestly I'm just excited to spend time with him and just have a good weekend. This Saturday there's like a block party in Vancouver in Kitsilano and I think we might go to that. I still haven't really asked him, but I really want to go to that, and my boyfriend and I have been trying to do like lots of stuff this summer, so it's been really fun. Obviously like this weekend has been so busy with going to the beach and all that, but I think this weekend will also be super fun with our anniversary and just spending time together, and it'll be really fun. My other bud, it's like a bud/thorn, is that I'm going to Austin very soon, and obviously I'm very excited because I know that when I get there I'm going to be really happy and excited to have fun, but right now I'm kind of just feeling like a little bit of dread because mostly, I was going to say mostly, but then I said mainly, so I said mostly it's because I know I'm going to miss my boyfriend a lot, and I'm going for 12 days this time, which is a very long time. It's the longest we've ever spent apart, other than I went to Washington for 5 days, and I did have a good cry on that trip because I missed him a lot. So I don't know about 12 days, man. But I am really excited. Austin has been somewhere that I've wanted to go my entire life, or at least like since I've been able to travel. So I know that I'm going to have a lot of fun, but I'm just like sad because I know I'm going to miss my boyfriend. Also, another thing I'm not looking forward to is my flight is at 8:40 in the morning. And if you have been on TikTok recently, you'll know that the airports are not doing well with morning flights. Like people get to the security at 5 a.m. when it opens and they're still like missing their flights. So I have no idea when I should get to the airport next week because I'm worried if I come a little too late, I'm gonna miss my flight. And also like the fact that like I don't even know if my flight is still on because Air Canada is like talking about how they're gonna cancel a bunch of flights, and people are finding out that their flights are canceled like an hour before they are flying and all that. I'm just like, oh my god, there's so much going on. So let's see if I can even make it to Austin first, but I am really excited and I think it'll be a really fun trip. I've been planning it a little bit more this time, which my next episode is actually going to be about. It's going to be about how I plan my solo trips and all that, and it's been honestly super fun just to look around. I think this time around I'm not going to plan as detailedly as my Washington trip. I'll talk about this more next week or like my next episode, but my Washington trip was quite planned out to a T. I think this time around for Austin, I'm going to just like have a general plan for the day. Like right now, my plan is like just exploring certain neighborhoods. Like obviously downtown's gonna be one, and then like there's South Congress in Austin that looks super fun. So I'm like planning days of where I'm gonna be, but I don't have like specific restaurant plans. I think I'm just gonna like walk around and feel it out and see what happens. So I think that'll be a little bit more fun. I think I just had more pressure with Washington because obviously it was my first time traveling by myself, and also I only had 5 days, so I felt like I had to make the most of it. But anyways, this is a big tangent. I'm very excited to go to Austin. Kind of troubled by a few things right now. That's the gist. My thorn is I have been feeling a bit of existential dread, as we all know from my last episode. Yesterday was like not great either. it's also because yesterday it was raining, and coming from Saturday, so today's Monday, yesterday was Sunday. So Saturday was the day that I went to the beach with all my friends, and it was just such a nice day. It was so much fun. Coming from that and then going to the next day, it being rainy and cloudy and just sad. I was like so sad yesterday because of the weather, and it was not good. So I did a lot of reading yesterday and ran a few errands and had to pick some stuff up, but otherwise it was a very calm day. And I just felt like, again, when I don't have much to do, I just get into a very like, what is the purpose of my life kind of vibe. So had that a bit yesterday, and it was not great. But anyways, today I'm very excited for today's episode because I feel like I've done an episode somewhat like this. I mean, I've talked about my favorites before, but today's episode is about my guilty pleasures. And I see this as a bit different from my favorites because, to be honest, I think I'm actually quite an obsessive person. And if I like something, I will be obsessed with it for many, many days and weeks to come. And I'll explain that a bit more when I start talking about my guilty pleasures. But the reason why I find this a little bit different than like a favorites video or a favorites podcast, for example, is just because favorites, I think, come and go. And yes, you try something and you might like it for a little bit, but it's not like a holy grail, you know? And also, favorites to me is like more materialistic products, whereas like today I'm going to be talking about a lot of random things like music and food and all that isn't necessarily a favorite, but I don't know, I get obsessed with things. Last year, for example, not even, let's just talk about like when Olivia Rodrigo's Sour album came out. So Driver's License came out in January of last year, I believe, and I actually listened to that all the way until the Sour album came out in May, and then I could not stop listening to the Sour album for many, many months. Yeah, the only reason I stopped was because my boyfriend got sick of it and forced me to play other things in the car. But if I was just driving by myself, I would still listen to the Sour album all the time. So that's the kind of personality that I have. If I like something, I will listen to it and just deal with it forever. I'm also the type of person that's very comfortable with familiarity. I mean, when I go to a restaurant, I order the exact same thing every time if it's like a favorite restaurant of mine. So I don't know, I just love the things that I love. So that's kind of the vibe we're going for today. These are things that I am absolutely obsessed with, and honestly, some of them I'm a little embarrassed to share, but this is the podcast and we love to be vulnerable. So let's get started. The first guilty pleasures that I have are food related. So first one is peanut M&Ms, like the M&Ms that have the whole peanut inside. I just remember when I was in Washington, I bought a bag in the airport for probably like $1,000 because it's the airport, let's not lie. And I can just remember like eating it nonstop. I think I finished the whole bag that day. I had like 2 flights. I was flying for I think a total of like 7-ish hours that day. Finished the entire bag of peanut M&Ms and I could not stop. It is absolutely delicious. Need I say more? I love peanut M&Ms, and it's not like you can't go with the regular. Like the peanut is just different. I love, like, this is how I eat it. Okay, this might be a little bit TMI, but I need to share. So you take one singular peanut M&M and you put it in your mouth. I actually bite it to crack open the chocolate and the candy coating, and let me think. Then once I crack it open and I access the peanut, I like suck all the chocolate out. This is how I eat most chocolate candies. I like suck the chocolate. I don't bite it. And then once I finish sucking all the chocolate, then I bite the candy and what's left of like the peanut and stuff, and then I swallow. That's how I eat my peanut M&Ms every single time. I'm a very routine person and I love to do the same thing every single time I do something. So that is how I eat my peanut M&Ms, and I absolutely love them. I'm just thinking about right now, next week, when I go to the airport, I will probably be buying another bag of peanut M&Ms. I don't let myself buy candy and stuff too much because I know I will get obsessed with it. So those are like infrequent treats that I give myself for special events. So peanut M&Ms, we're starting off strong. My second obsession has been, honestly, I think for the last year now, I don't even know, but it is cheese and crackers and like salami meat. I'm obsessed with this snack. I've been obsessed with it for the longest time. So I usually buy a little block of like brie cheese, and most of the time it's brie. And I buy this pack of salami with prosciutto mixed in. I think it's Schneider brand, but I can't say for sure. And then I also buy these like they're meant for cheese and crackers, like these dry crackers that are rosemary flavored from Whole Foods. Oh my God, I don't even need to explain cheese and crackers because obviously you just cut a little piece of the cheese, put the little salami. But what I also do is I take a little bit of basil pesto and I line it on my cracker, and then I put my cheese and my meat on. Oh my God, thinking about this snack is just making me so happy right now. Like literally, this is my go-to snack all the time when I'm at home if I feel a little bit hungry and I need to eat a little bit of food, but it's not like lunchtime or dinner time yet. This is my go-to. And I have literally been obsessed with this for the last year, probably, and I have not stopped. Usually when I like something, it takes a couple weeks and then I'm like over it. But this cheese and crackers thing has honestly probably been maybe more than a year. I don't even know. It's been crazy. But it is just so good. And I also think it's just really filling because obviously cheese and crackers and pesto, these are all like very heavy and satiating items. So it's an absolutely delicious snack. So good. I would recommend it to everyone. Try it out. Okay, next up is a recent guilty pleasure. It has been my avocado breakfast sandwich / toast. So good. So I have... since last summer, since that's when I started going back to the gym, I have trained my body to now eat 2 breakfasts in a day. So I eat one breakfast right when I wake up, and usually that's a little bit lighter. It's overnight oats right now, but before it used to be yogurt and granola and stuff. But right now I'm also in an overnight oats kick. But that's before I work out, and then I'll go and work out, whether it be like a high interval intensity class or just going to the fitness center or like going to yoga. And then by the time I come back, I'm usually pretty hungry again, and that's when I eat my second breakfast. So this is my avocado breakfast sandwich. I recently have just been using bread, like white bread, because I ran out of the other stuff, but other times I have loved bagels, I have loved English muffins, I love quesadillas, like really any type of carb, and I'm okay with it. So I'll toast up whatever carb that I choose. Today I did a piece of white bread. And then when it's toasted, I put a layer of the basil pesto on the bread. And this basil pesto is from Whole Foods. It is so delicious. It's like probably one of the best discoveries I've ever made in my entire life, honestly. It's so good. I'm just thinking about it now. It is so good. So I put a layer of basil pesto on the bread, and then I will slice up half an avocado and mash it onto the bread as well, so that the mixture is like avocado-y, pesto-y. So good. After I put my layer of avocado mash, I sprinkle a little bit of everything but the bagel seasoning, just some preliminary seasoning, don't need to go too hard. And then I put a slice of that salami prosciutto meat that I buy on top of the avocado. I'm just thinking about it right now. It's so good. So I put a slice of the salami prosciutto, absolutely delicious. And then in the meantime, I'll fry an egg. With my egg, I'll just like crack it. I don't pop the yolk, and I just drizzle a little bit of shredded cheese on top of it as well. And then obviously flip it to the other side so that both sides are cooked through. And then I put my egg on top. And then more recently, what I've been doing is obviously everything but the bagel seasoning on top of the egg as well. So I'm double seasoning. But I also have seen that on TikTok, people love putting Parmesan cheese on their avocado toast. And I recently bought a box of Parmesan cheese, and I have been doing that, and it is so good. It's probably not the healthiest thing ever, by all means, but it is so delicious, and I'm just absolutely obsessed with it. It is just so filling and satiating. Like most of the time nowadays, when I go to eat lunch, like I'm never as starving as I used to be, which is really good, obviously. And I think it's obviously because my avocado toast is so satiating. So that has been my go-to post-workout snack. It is so good, and absolutely obsessed with it. Need I say more? The last food item that I have been obsessed with is Whole Foods orange juice. So the only difference is that Whole Foods doesn't add any chemicals or preservatives and stuff. Like if you look at the ingredients list, it's literally just like organic oranges. And they juice it and bottle it up, and I love buying it every time I go to Whole Foods. It's like quite pricey. I think that's like the most overpriced thing at Whole Foods that there is, but it's so good. I have to stop myself from like drinking the entire bottle in one go because there's so much sugar in it, but it's just so good. Recently, I've actually been eating a lot more fruit, and I think it has actually been doing me a lot of good. Obviously, when we're little, we know that like, oh my God, we have to eat our fruits and veggies, but fruits I think are a lot harder for me because you have to go out of your way to eat them. Does that make sense? I'm so lazy, but like, you have to slice things, unpeel them, wash them. I know this is such a first world problem, but recently I have been eating fruits with my overnight oats, like a lot of fruit. And I've also been eating, like, obviously I drink orange juice and just like eating more fruits and vegetables. And I've actually been feeling so good. So if you don't already, you should eat fruits and vegetables. Side note, I was watching Ryan Trahan's penny challenge where he was delivering a penny to Mr. Beast. And obviously I was watching it every day, every morning, as everyone else was. And man's only ate McChickens with no lettuce and chicken, rice, and cheese burritos from Chipotle. Like, man did not eat a single vegetable in that whole month. And honestly, that stressed me out so much because I was like, dude, like, how are you gonna poop, first of all? And just like, how does someone live like that? I obviously understand that this is a reality for a lot of people because fresh fruits and vegetables are also very pricey nowadays. But just thinking about that, I was like, I need to eat more fruits and vegetables. Like, that is crazy. So yes, I have been obsessed with fruits and vegetables a lot more, which is great. And Whole Foods orange juice in particular. Okay. Now we're moving on to my guilty pleasure songs. And something about these songs just get me going every single time. Like, these are songs that I have never been sick of, and for some of these I've known these for over 10 years. I'm never sick of these songs. When I listen to them, I just get so happy and like I jam out in the car, and they're just honestly the most perfect songs I've ever heard in my entire life. I'm not being dramatic as much as it sounds like I am. Honestly, these are the best songs. Okay. First two are by Jessie J. They are the iconic Domino and Price Tag. These two songs I have loved since I was like 12. Like, I think 2012, 2013 was like the peak year of pop music. I still listen to so many songs from 2012 and 2013 to this day, and I can't get over them. But two in particular that I just can't get over is Domino and Price Tag. Price Tag is a little bit special because it's in Pitch Perfect 1, and Pitch Perfect 1 is one of my favorite movies of all time. It is probably my favorite movie of all time. And no joke, I think I've watched Pitch Perfect 1 over 50 times in my entire life. And obviously, so now I've listened to Price Tag, that iconic song, over 50 times, plus all the times that I listened to it when I was like 12. It's in my current playlist, and I just absolutely love Domino and Price Tag so much. They're such good songs. I don't know what is in them. There's like crack in them or something, but I just can't get over them. It's so good. So those two songs, absolutely favorites. Gonna keep going with the throwback songs. Another guilty pleasure song that I literally never can get over is Dark Horse by Katy Perry. I will say Katy Perry was an icon for me growing up. First listened to Hot and Cold by her when I was like 7, when it was on the radio. And then I was like, oh my God, I cannot stop. This lady is my icon. She is my idol. I love her. So I have always loved Katy Perry songs growing up. Wide Awake is also one of my favorites. Let me think. Teenage Dream, obviously. Part of Me, iconic. Last Friday Night, so good. But above all of those is Dark Horse. I think Dark Horse is the best Katy Perry song of the entire world, and it is so good. So I love that song so much. I honestly would say Wide Awake is also one of my guilty pleasure songs. Wide Awake by Katy Perry, so good. I think it just brings like about all of these throwback songs. They just bring a sense of nostalgia and throwback, and then also I just think they're really good songs in general. So I never stop listening to them. Okay, my last guilty pleasure song is a newer one, and it is none other than Traitor by my queen Olivia Rodrigo. So I was obsessed with Driver's License when it first came out. I think I was like obsessed with all the basic songs like Driver's License and Deja Vu. Because those two came out first, I think. I can't really remember now. But I did eventually get over those songs. I think after like when the album came out, Driver's License, I was over it because I listened to it so much. But then I loved the rest of the album. And to this day, Traitor is still one that I can always play and I absolutely love. It is so good. And yeah, it's just, I love belting it. You know, even though I'm in a healthy relationship with my boyfriend who I could not love more, I still belt this song out. Talking about some imaginary person that has betrayed me. Yeah, so Traitor by Olivia Rodrigo is definitely one of my favorite songs as well. And that is like too good. Okay, so those are all of my guilty pleasure songs. And when I talk about guilty pleasure songs, like I feel like people are like, oh yeah, I could listen to this on loop forever. Like literally, I could listen to these on loop forever. When new songs come out and I love them, I listen to them on repeat for a week straight. Like actually, not even, this is not a joke. So yes, that's all I'm gonna say. Okay. My next few guilty pleasures are videos, YouTube videos, media. So there's a good like 2 weeks out of the entire year where I become obsessed with the Try Guys. I don't know what it is. I think I'm just in like a wholesome mood where I need to laugh, and Try Guys just like checks every one of those boxes. I remember there was a time where I was obsessed with Try Guys and I would just watch the same videos over and over again. Like it wouldn't be that I would watch all of their videos. There are certain ones that I can watch every single time and they're so funny. So in particular, I think it was like 1 or 2 years ago. I think it would have been 2 years ago at this point, like in 2020. They did a series where they were doing skincare. So there was a video that was like the Try Guys getting expensive facials, the red carpet facials or something. There's another one where the Try Guys try Korean skincare. So good. Those two are actually probably my 2 favorite Try Guy videos of all time. I actually just can't stop watching them. And again, for 2 weeks out of the year, I just get obsessed with the Try Guys and I just never stop watching them. My other guilty pleasure Try Guys videos are the Without a Recipe. I think they are just so funny. Honestly, this might be controversial, but I do like the older seasons better. I know the point of the newer seasons is to include more people and all that, but there's just something about the originals that you can't get over, and I just can't get over the originals. I don't think the first season is the best, but definitely like the second one is pretty good. And I watch those over and over, like the ice cream and ice cream cones. There's cake. And yeah, that season, I believe. So those are also some of my favorite YouTube videos of all time. I'm really good at like rewatching YouTube videos all the time. So I don't really get over, or I don't get bored of watching the same video over and over again, even if I know exactly what's going to happen. There's something very comforting about that, I feel. So those are my 2 like Try Guys guilty pleasures, and just the Try Guys in general I think are very like guilty pleasure of mine because they're so funny. My recent other guilty pleasure has been watching podcast videos. Obviously I have a podcast and it also has a video in case you are ever wondering. But I do love listening to podcasts because it's really good background noise for doing whatever you're doing. And more specifically, I really only watch Pretty Basic or Wild Till 9. My queens, my icons. I can't say more. I am, like, before I was recording, I was listening to one. This morning, I was listening to one. I don't know. There's just something about it. I do love, like, I think with podcast videos, I like the dynamic and the excitement that it brings. I love watching when it's just the original hosts, don't get me wrong. But I think something about like having guests on your podcast is really, really exciting. And that's why I think I want more guests on my podcast, is because like I see how much fun it is and I've had fun with my guests before. So I want to do it again. But yeah, recently it's been watching Pretty Basic and Wild Till 9 video kind of angle, being obsessed with that and just really liking those. Yeah. Okay. My last two favorites, or not favorites, guilty pleasures, things that, I'm a little embarrassed about doing and stuff like that, are things that I do. I'm kind of embarrassed to share this. I have recently, not even recently, in the last year, I've been obsessed with looking at Squishmallows. And it's not buying them. I don't love buying them. I don't need to buy all of them. But I just love, whenever I'm in the area, like near London Drugs or Shoppers Drug Mart, I have to go in and take a look at what they have. It's just something I love. I love scouting out the different locations and the type of stuffies that they have and all that. It's crazy. One of my biggest regrets in life, I feel like this episode is so sarcastic, but I'm being very sarcastic today. I feel like one of my biggest regrets in life, meaning it's not actually my biggest regret, is I was in Kelowna and my friends and I just were walking around downtown and we stopped by this random gift shop. And inside this gift shop, there were shelves upon shelves of Squishmallows. I was looking at them. I was like, oh my God, those are so cute. But there was one in particular that I saw. It was the duck. And I saw it. And I was like, oh my God, I know that one is so popular. But I didn't buy it. I should have bought it, to be honest. I could have resold it or given it to someone that really wanted the duck. But yeah. Anyways, that's one of my guilty pleasures is looking at Squishmallows, because it's it's not even oh, I would buy that for my collection. It's not about what I want. It's the fact that you just see what each store has. Do you know what I mean? It's oh, this store has this one, but that store has that one. It's something like that. And then putting them in a hierarchy, oh, this store always has the worst Squishmallows. Let's go to that store. I don't know. Recently, I also discovered, I'm not going to put too much detail because I don't want to dox this and let everyone know, and then everyone's going to take them. But in a plaza near my house, there is just a totally random dollar store. It's not branded, it's not a chain, it's a family-owned dollar store. And I usually run in there if I can't find what I need to find in Shoppers or whatever. And they usually have it's everything's pretty cheap. I recently found out that they have Squishmallows there. They're not big ones. They're the small, not the micros, but a size above that. Their Squishmallows are always so good. It's actually crazy. Every time I've been in, I saw a bubble tea one. I saw a shark wearing goggles. I bought a rainbow koala that I absolutely love from the spring collection. And I was so surprised. I was like, oh my God, this is an underground Squishmallow treasure chest. And I was so honored that I found it first. I was the very first and only person. I'm kidding. But I was just really surprised. And I honestly every time I go in, I'm so happy too. Because then the dollar store and Shoppers are right next to each other. So what I do is if I go to Shoppers and I look at the Squishmallows, then I'll go to the dollar store and look at the Squishmallows. And I'm like, oh my God, the dollar store Squishmallows are so much better. But yeah, it's one of my guilty pleasures is Squishmallow hunting. Not even for the sake of collecting them for myself, but just literally hunting. I think it's so fun. Okay, my last guilty pleasure of the day is makeup related. It is putting on lots of blush. And I know lots of blush has been super popular for a while, but I'm just a trend follower, not a trendsetter. Actually, to be honest, sometimes I'm a trendsetter. I feel like I've done some things that actually get popular after. One example, okay, I'm not going to take credit for this, but one time last year, my friend Rebecca and I went to this place in Kitsilano called You Paint, I Fire, where there are already pre-made pottery pieces and literally all you have to do is glaze it. If you like painting, this is for you, because it was just a blank canvas. You could decorate it however you like. And, I'd never seen anyone do that before, but Rebecca and I really wanted to paint that day. So we were like, oh my God, let's go. It's so much fun. Then, obviously, I had to post it on Instagram because I'm a trendy queen. A couple weeks later, everyone I know, all the Instagram stories I see from my friends, or not even friends, people I follow on Instagram, is them going to You Paint, I Fire. Is it a coincidence? Don't think so. probably totally is, but I don't think so. And I tell myself that on the daily, is that Rebecca and I were the trendsetters and we made that place popular. Because like truly no one went there before us. Never saw TikToks about it. Never saw Instagram stories about it. And then everyone started going. Just so we're clear, I'm being like somewhat sarcastic. Obviously, this is kind of cool that Rebecca and I went first, like literally. But I know that we weren't the trendsetters. Don't worry. Anyways, yeah, putting on lots of blush. I was just following the trend for this one, but I have been pretty obsessed with blush. Like, I think my most purchased makeup items are blush and mascara. I don't really wear face makeup, like foundation and stuff. Don't really wear a lot of eyeshadow. I do like eyeshadow, but I don't buy a ton of it because I never go through it. I like eyeliner, all that, but blush, one of my faves. Love the little rosy peach glow that it gives me. Recently, I have been using the Nars Creamy Stick Blush. It's a little bit glittery. It's in the shade Orgasm. And what I do is I take a little bit and I rub my finger on it, and then I just spread it on my cheeks, a little bit on my nose. It's the cutest thing ever. I think it's absolutely adorable. Anyways, this episode turned out to be a lot more sarcastic than I thought. I think this whole episode was just like so much fun. When I was thinking of episodes yesterday, this one was like one that I was like, oh my God, this is so exciting. I totally want to film this. So here I am, finished filming it and feeling good. I feel very like happy-go-lucky, kinda. Is that the right word? I don't know. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Make sure you follow podcast Instagram and all that. It's always linked in the show notes or in the description box down below if you're watching on YouTube. And I will see you in my next video. No, not video. In my next podcast. Bye.
And I was like, yo.